Today we'll see the Istio service mesh demo. So we will install Istio and as well as run this demo application, which is called a book info. All right. So now I will go to the istio.io homepage. Click on a documentation. So here, get started. So this is the step. The first, we need to download and install Istio and deploy the sample application. Then now go through all these features like a traffic, security and policy. So whoever did not watch the video, please do watch Istio service mesh explanation and its features, etc. So now first download and install Istio. So number one, I will just copy here and yeah, so yeah, before that I need to start my minikube cluster. So minikube start. Yeah, right. So basically minikube requires, if you look at the platform setup and minikube, so minikube Istio supports Alibaba Cloud, Azure, any Kubernetes cluster. So these are the platforms and each platform. And if you look at the minikube, so you need to have a minimum 16 GB RAM and 4 CPUs. So that's why, and 1.20 is given, but the latest is 22, which is installed in my machine. So I'm leveraging the 16 gig and my minikube is getting started. So once my minikube starts, then what I will need to do, platform setup is done. Then after that I need to get started, platform setup, and then now I will install. So and here everything is there. So first of all, download and install. So download Istio. So once my minikube cluster is up and running, yes, so it's almost there. All right, my minikube cluster is started. So now I am in a home directory. So as per the documentation, so we will copy this, download Istio, and yes, it's downloading tar.zz file, right? So it's downloaded. Now if I look at the ls and grepher Istio, then you will see one folder because it's already extracted, right? So now next is cd. Just go into this folder, cd Istio, right? I will go here, right? Now I am in a Istio folder. If you look at the ls, then bin directory, so there will be bin directory, manifest, samples and tools. Yeah, bin directory has all the binaries and all. Manifest is the manifests like definitions and all. Sample are all the samples. Tools are specific to this Istio. So now next is the installation of Istio. How you will install? So basically before the installation, first we need to set so in the bind in the cd bin, then after that if you do ls, there is istioctl. This is a utility. So throughout the application we are going to use istioctl utility. So for that we need to use this istioctl command throughout the application. So for that I need to set it up, the path. So what I will do is cd double dot, then path equal to present working directory plus bin. I'm adding into the path. Now istioctl, then yes, istioctl command is working, right? So now next thing is we have to install istioctl. So we are installing by using a istioctl command. So there is a command, so I copy here. So istioctl, sorry, maybe I have not copied here this command. Yeah, so istioctl set profile equal to demo by, that's it. So that it will automatically install the istioctl Istio in my particular Kubernetes cluster, which is running at the moment. Right, so it will take a little bit of while. So it took me around 37 seconds. Now istioctl is installed in my cluster. So now let's see kubectl get pod -a. So it will list out everything. So if you notice here, kubectl get namespace, there is a new namespace is created which is called Istio system. I have not created yet. It is created by istioctl command. So that means whatever the component which is residing in this Istio system, all are belongs to Istio service mesh. So let's see, kubectl get namespace again, kubectl get pods, I get all, so n, and let's see Istio system. Let's observe what's it's installed. So if you look at the installation instruction, ingress gateway installed, egress gateway installed, istiod and istio core, right? So yeah, ingress gateway is as a service which is a cluster IP. Ingress gateway both are as a service. Ingress is as load balancer, and istiod is a service which is a control plane, and deployments also created, and there is a pod for the istio, the istiod pod. And also let's see, kubectl get daemon set. No, there are no daemon sets are installed. So right, this is kubeproxy, right? So now what I will do is kubectl get kubectl create say I am trying to create a kubectl run nginx. I wanted to just run one pod, just to show you some example, right? Say web, and it's a pod, it's created kubectl get pod, which is created in the default namespace, right? It's a one, and its container is creating now. So now if you look at the ready state here, 1 by 1, 0 by 1, so let's wait for the while, it will create. Yeah, now the pod is running, right? So now kubectl get pod, right, in the default namespace, which is here 1 by 1. So that means this pod has only one container which is in a running status, one out of one container. So now let's go to the documentation, right? So if you look at here, here default namespace, they are applying a label istio injection enabled. So what is this is, whenever you apply a label to the any namespace, by default istio will apply. That means whenever you apply this particular label to the default namespace, maybe I will show kubectl get namespace -- show label. So here default namespace, default label is there. Now I will top up the new label as per the documentation. So let's take this and apply. Right, now label is applied. Now I will go and check kubectl get namespace show label. What happened? Istio injection enabled is created, right? So now let's see, kubectl get pod, right? Kubectl delete pod web. I will delete. What I will do is I will recreate the same pod. Kubectl run, say I will just do as a web 2, just to differentiate, right? Now pod is created. Now kubectl get pod. Now you see I created only one pod which is nginx, which is called a web 2, but here it's showing red is 0 by 2, but earlier it was a 1 when before applying the label istio injection equal to enabled. Once you apply the istio injection equal to enabled to the namespace, then automatically another container is added. So let's clear the screen and kubectl get pod, right? Otherwise what I will do, kubectl describe pod I will do, so it will describe. So if you look at this, right, yeah, kubectl describe pod web 2, yes, that's what the, and 0 by 2. So that means 2 container out of 2 are running. So where this one container new one? So if you look at our theory part, where we have discussed that there is a ny proxy, so sidecar container got installed. So let's see the first one. So if you look at the if you inspect the containers, right, actual container is what? Web 2. But another container is istio proxy is added. What is the proxy? Proxy v2 docker.io something. This is injected by the istio system. So now all the communication will happen from this particular proxy. So that means I did not added anything, I have not injected anything, it's injected. Now it's running perfectly fine. You can see the under events, you can see how the system. So first my container is created, then after that, on top of that, this Istio init is initialized, and then my container got injected. So that's what I wanted to show. Now kubectl delete pod, just web2, I don't want this pod. Yes, now the pod got deleted. Now we will install the demo application. So in order to install a demo application, there is a command is already there. So as we are following this, deploy the sample application. So now how, so in the samples, there is a book info already given along with its installation. So if you look at the navigate to the directory, say so here this is a samples folder, so cd samples. Then if you look at this, there are a book info add-on, there are many add-ons are given, operator, security, sleep, there are many. So cd book info, just to show you what are the things are there, networking, policy, source, swagger, there are many are there. So we need not to bother about that. So we will go with the documentation approach, which is a very simpler. Yeah, so I will install a demo application. So now I will go to my Minikube cluster. So book info, apply, then my sample application is got installed. So now if I go and kubectl get pod, right, so all our pod initialization set. So what I will do is I will just try to so if you look at observe here 0/2, that means products, reviews, details, everything is every pod has an additional container which is a sidecar, which is a which is envoy proxy is added. So now everything is under the service mesh. So now it's getting into the green color, means bots are running. So I put a watch command here. Yeah, so let's see the next step. Next step is we need to observe what the services are there and what the pods are installed with this default installation. So let's see. So we need to wait, maybe it will take a all right. Now all the components are installed. So now let's see kubectl get svc, here details page, product details page, ratings and reviews. So there are multiple services got installed as per the sample application, and also we will see the pods, kubectl get pods. So now these pods are also got installed. So now let's see. So now what we will do is as per the documentation here, we wanted to check whether the product detail page is working or not, right? So that's what he wanted to see. So he is going into the, say, let's copy here. I will explain what is this command. So in this product details page, he wanted to see whether it's properly a product page is showing or not, right? So right, yes. So this is the product detail page. And if you look at the kubectl get pod, right, hyphen show labels, right? So every pod has some labels are already there, which is as a part of the sample application, right? Yeah. So now we wanted to access this book info application from the outside. So that means what I mean is kubectl get svc, right? These are all are the cluster IPs, okay? And so cluster IP means within the cluster it's accessible, it won't go outside, right? So for that we need to install a ingress gateway. So that is which is Istio gateway, right? Not a Kubernetes default one, Istio provided gateway, right? In the theory we have learned. So now what I will do is I will try to install the gateways. So it's created a book info gateway so that we can access from outside. So kubectl get all, you see this, right? Kubectl get gateways, right? So book info gateway is created. And if you wanted to check whether is there any issues in this particular installation, so since we have installed the Istio gateway, right, this ingress gateway and other service mesh, so we wanted to see whether everything is working or not. So for that the command is istioctl analyze, so that it will show you then and there right away, right? So istio istioctl analyze. This will tell you any errors in the current system, no issues. So we are good to go, proceed further, right? So now what we wanted to do is we wanted to access this particular from the outside. So what we will do is if you look at the right as kubectl get ingress, right? So no recess. So there is a gateway also there. So we need to identify the ingress port and secure ingress port, right? So basically that how we will identify by using this guy, right? So this is a load balancer. So we are trying to access the load balancer from outside, right? So I'll copy this and just try to get into this port. So what it does is simply this environment variables will be loaded with this ports which is available, right? Now next, just test. I wanted to test echo ingress port and echo dollar secure ingress port, right? So this will give me the its ports, right? And as per the documentation, and where you can open a minikube tunnel and check. So and also gateway URL. So how you identify the gateway URL? Ingress host plus ingress port, right? So this is a gateway URL. So let's see the echo dollar gateway URL. So okay, ingress host is missing, right? Yeah. All right, so ingress host is basically since I am running in my minikube, right? So so I need to, here I will open a new tab, minikube IP. So this is my minikube server IP, right? So hence I need to load this as an ingress host because it's not a local host, it's an ingress host, right? So that's what the, if you again check this, right, echo gateway URL, right? So it will show me 171.3. this is the actual URL. So if you go to the browser and just try to install, try to check this product details, not this, so it's a documentation is there, yeah. So this is a gateway URL, yeah, this is the product page. So if you look at this echo, right, now clear, right? Now the product page. So if you look at this URL, I am clicking on this, see product page. So this is a, so that means gateway URL is nothing but my, wherever my minikube is running, my minikube IP is this one. In this minikube IP I have installed the basically the load balancer on port 80 is this port, port 443 is this port. That's what we have stored this variables so that I can access. So now throughout the application I will be using this URL, right? So basically now I am an ingress. So this is how I am able to access by using the Istio's feature under the traffic management. There is a gateway, right? By using ingress gateway I am accessing this book info application. Hope you got it, right? So now let's go to let's move further. All right, so external access, it is working. So first we echo ingress gateway and product detail page. Actually you can go directly, so you just simply find out a minikube IP, my minikube IP, then after that go to the kubectl ingress gateway, right? Ingress gateway, how you wanted to access, yeah, this is a 31355, that's it, 31355, and you can, but in a programmatical way this is a better practice to store in the environment variable so that you can access and you can use this variables in a upcoming further example. So let's see the further ahead, yeah. And in the ingress in the istioctl, right, there is a dashboard where you can see the visually what's happening. So how you will access the dashboard? The dashboard is by using a Kiali. So Kiali, so you can access, what is this Kiali? So whatever the ingress, whatever the istioctl system where we installed, so by using this Kiali you can visually see and what's happening in the system and how the flow is happening, what are the components we deployed. So for that you need to install all the add-ons which is available here. So now what I will do is I will just simply apply all the add-ons. So what it does is service account for Grafana and Jaguar installed, tracing is installed, Japkin, Jaguar controller, Kiali and Kiali viewer and Kiali control plane. So all the required components to view and leverage its additional features of Istio. So I wanted to leverage I wanted to benefit of observability features. I wanted to see metrics, I want to see the logs, I wanted to see how the distributed tracing. So how you will do the distributed tracing here? Japkin, right? Say I wanted to see the metrics, so I will be using with the Kiali or Grafana Prometheus, right? So these are the tools. It doesn't comes with the default Istio installation, so you have to additionally install. That's what the step we have done here. After the add-ons installation, so if I kubectl get svc-n Istio system, I can see Kiali, Prometheus, tracing, Japkin and Grafana all are installed, right? So I wanted to, as per the documentation, I wanted to see the Kiali, which is a dashboard, right? That's what this section. So if I wanted to access the dashboard, there are two ways. One is istio-ctl dashboard Kiali, so that it will give you the directly, but I wanted to persist this particular, so I wanted to edit that. So how I will edit now? The Kiali is as showing as a cluster IP, then I will make it to the node port so that I can access by using my minikube IP. So what I will do is I'll just try to edit the Kiali, right? And right, sorry, kubectl edit svc is my mistake. So now I will right. So now I will, so here the cluster IP, right? So here type equal to cluster IP2. I will just change it to the node port, right? So that, right, now same command you, sorry, now QA not, right? Now kubectl get svc. Now Kiali is accessible via node port. So what I will do is I wanted to find out my minikube IP. So this is my minikube IP, right? And what is the port for Kiali? It's a 31477, right? So here, right? So this is a Kiali dashboard. So and also you can access by using istio-ctl as well, but the standard in the production we will be using this. So Kiali dashboard, if you look at the documentation, what it is saying is you wanted to see the service mesh, you wanted to what is the topology of a service mesh, how many applications are installed, how many deployments, how the things and its analyze and its health, everything will be done by this guy called Kiali, which is Kiali console. So right, here if you look at this, this is a Kiali console main dashboard, home page I would say, and it has overview, graph, application, workload, services, Istio config, right? So we have a namespaces. Currently 2 namespaces are there. Say for example, if I go here, kubectl get create namespace GVR, just like that, okay? And kubectl run web, there is a pod, and just I will use as a namespace as a GVR, right? So now in the GVR namespace one pod is created, right? Now if you just go and refresh here, my GVR is visible, right? And I have applied one default label. This is Kubernetes.io, which will, the Kubernetes system will by default, it will, whatever if you apply a new label, it will show here, right? That's what the overview screen is basically gives you the visual representation picture of the completely, it's a metrics, how many yeah. So now go to the default namespace, 2 labels, these are the 2 labels, and second is a graph. This is the most very excellent feature. Say if I wanted to see the namespace in the default namespace, right, and I wanted to see how the security happening, how the traffic animation. So in order to do the traffic animation, so here if you look at here, display what you wanted to display as a graph here, right? You wanted to show the cluster namespace, so there are many features, but I wanted to see the security and how the traffic flow. So first of all, in order to see the traffic flow, first of all, there is no traffic happening to this my page, right? So the next step is I have to create some traffic, right, in order to see in the graph. So what I will do is there is a command where it will just create 100 request to the application. So what I will do, I'll just copy this. It will create a 100 request. It's a very simple command, right? Copy here, and what I will do is I will try to make it as 1,000 request because I wanted to see the more traffic, right? So it's the traffic is happening. Once the traffic is done, then this will end automatically. So now you see I did not do anything, it's automatically refreshed, right? So if I look at the traffic animation, right, so right, how the see I have an ingress gateway, see how the traffic animation is happening, right? Yeah, if you look at here I try to hit the traffic as 100 request, 1,000 request, and in the various ways to see the traffic. But here if you look at here, right, last 1 minute there is no. If you look at the again, I will just change to the last say 10 minutes, right? I am doing this demo last 10-15 minutes for this recording. So if you look at this last 10 minutes, what was the situation, and just you mouse over, just try to understand basically, right? Just let me reduce. Yeah, so this is my ingress gateway, right? And ingress gateway to the product detail page, product detail page to the details page, detail page to the detail page to the reviews, and reviews to the ratings. So if you look at here, right, see the reviews are multiple pages are happening. Why? Because there are multiple versions are displayed, right? See, number version 1, there are no stars, only reviewer name. One is with the red color stars, other one is a black color. So there's 3 versions are there. So that's what the V1, V2, V3 reviews, right? So basically 3 different kind of reviews are showing here. Book detail is always is 1 page. You hit 1,000 times, this page will be same. So that's what they are controlling with the microservices. This is short term. And in the Kiali dashboard, you can see the say traffic animation. And you can just define a layout tool. You can define a multiple layouts here. So you see, right? So yeah, so in the layout to how the traffic is happening. Yeah, this is the what the see ingress gateway to the ingress gateway to the product detail page reviews, something like that. So these are the features of an yeah. So if you consider this is the ingress gateway. Yeah, so this is the flow is happening. This is a version app graph. Say I wanted to see only the service. I don't want to see the versions because V1, V2, V3 are there, right? So say here, let me try to here still the requests are happening, right? Say I wanted to see only services. Just you will see service. So in the default namespace, if you look at the workloads, right? All right. Yeah, there is a little bit of delay. Yeah, so if you look at this services, so these are the product detail, ratings, reviews in the default namespace, right? So all the services graph, you can see it here. Just keep the 30 minutes, and yeah, I wanted to see the services in my namespace GVR. So that is the what my traffic is happening, right? And version app graph, how the versions are, and you can move it here and you can zoom and all. So it will clearly show you how the traffic is happening. If any error, say if it is error between a product detail page 1 to V2, say V2 pod is breaking somehow, means it will show you the red color error mark. Maybe yeah. So and workload, how the workload is happening, this you can see. There are many security. You can see security means how the communication is happening. We say HTTP communication, and if you define HTTP yes, then it will show the HTTPS. And service nodes, these are the service nodes on top of. And see, I wanted to see the namespace boxes, right? See, namespace box in the default namespace, this is in Istio namespace. My ingress gateway is in Istio namespace, whereas my pods are in default namespace. So this is the clear picture of how the things are happening. You can clearly see. Yeah, so far we see the traffic observability, so by using this. So here, and another feature is under that logs, metrics, distributed tracing there. So there are various, right? So here, say for example, from the last 30 minutes some traffic happened in this particular, right? Say I wanted to see for my product details, right? So traffic is coming from ingress to product detail. I selected a product detail box, and if you select here, then there is a right side the properties page where you can see traffic, and it's a traces how the traffic happened, how many requests per second, and how many errors, what was the request per second. So everything you can see here, and total and success and error. So you can just directly just select that particular whatever the underlying pod or service, right? You can just see for service specific. My product details got this 100% success, my reviews 100% success. Say my product detail page, I can just say if I select the v1, right? So this is the what my traffic flow happened. And if I look at the trace, so you can just refresh this page, yeah, and see the how many spans are happen between the each particular trace. So these are the very good features where you can see and leverage, and every app specific, version specific, you can check ingress specific as well. So these are the high level. And whatever the configuration, so here when I say ingress gateway, right, book info is ingress gateway. Under Istio configuration there is a ingress gateway configuration. So if you go and see, this is a simple YAML configuration, right? Yeah, so far we have seen sample application and its observability features, right? Like metrics and all logs, so how the tracing and all. So now the traffic management point of view, it's a request routing. So here what we need to do is, here they have given a virtual service. Basically if you look at this YAML, right, this YAML is installing a 4 different virtual services which is routing to the v1 only. So let's run this in my cluster. So let's copy this and just run, right? So now the 4 virtual services are created. Now we go to the Kiali dashboard and just see the Istio configuration. So far it was 2. So now 1 2 3 4, these 4 virtual services are created. And what it's happening is now so far this particular traffic was routed to the ratings for v1, v2, v3, right? So now if you look at the latest refreshed one, it is routing to the only one particular. So that's what the here the virtual service, right? And if you go to the Kiali Istio configuration and say product detail always show me the v1, of course only one, right? And then ratings, there were the 3 different pods are there, but however 3 exist, but only, see if you look at the kubectl get pods, right, hyphen all pods, and then right here you see reviews are 3 different reviews, right? So if you look at the reviews, so there were 3 different review pods, but however traffic will goes to the only one pod always. That's what this virtual service is defined. So here if you just refresh from the last 5 minutes, or maybe just it will take a little bit of while to reflect this my changes, right? Yeah, So now here is only one particular only will happen. See the arrow mark, maybe you might have noticed the arrow mark is going right. So this is how it's happening. Yeah, you can see the various services and only one host only. So earlier it was a 3 host it was showing, right? Then yeah, under the same request routing there is another example called a route based on a user identity. So what this YAML is doing is, if you open this, for user JSON v2 reviews page will show, whereas other users v1, which is the same YAML is specified here. So basically here what we are doing is reviews second version of the reviews page you deploy v1 and v2 based on the user, right? And there are some more examples based on the fault injection, traffic shifting. Say example traffic shifting, right? So if you apply that here, traffic shifting is between v1 and v3. v1 is a 50%, v3 is a 50%. So something like that you can define, and the same thing you can see it is in the graph, what's happening and how the traffic is going on currently between these particular namespaces, etc. So and you can self-explore rest of the things based on the so end of the day it will create an authentication authorization point of view, right? Say certificate management, it will create a certificate. Say authentication policy you can define, right, as one authentication policy, just like a peer authentication of mode is a strict, then it will apply a strict mode policy. So you can self-explore further, and there are very good examples are given. So my idea is just to give an demo high level how the things are there in the this Kiali dashboard, and where you can monitor, trace, and it will give you the complete picture of what's happening in the complete cluster with the namespace level, right? Yeah, that's it for the demo. Just let me know in your comments if you feel anything. So thank you all. Bye bye.